Welcome to the CompTIA Project Plus Prepcast by baremetalcyber.com. Building an effective team is one of the most important functions of the planning phase. It is here that the project manager ensures the right people are in the right roles, that the necessary resources have been secured, and that all required training is accounted for before execution begins. The composition of the team directly influences the quality of deliverables, the accuracy of the timeline, and the effectiveness of communication throughout the project. Planning these elements early ensures that when execution starts, the team is prepared, aligned, and ready to perform. The process starts with identifying required roles, which is best done by analyzing the work breakdown structure. Each deliverable and each task is reviewed to determine the specific responsibilities needed to complete it. Common roles in many projects include the project manager, developers, business analysts, and testers. Some projects require specialized roles such as procurement leads, quality assurance auditors, or compliance specialists. Every deliverable must have a clearly defined role assigned to it, so that accountability is established from the start. Next, the project manager must assess whether those roles will be filled with internal or external resources. Internal staff may already have the right skills but might be committed to other initiatives, creating availability challenges. Contractors or consultants can be brought in to fill gaps in either skills or capacity. The choice between internal and external sourcing is influenced by budget constraints and the urgency of the project timeline. When blending internal and external resources, coordination becomes even more important to maintain consistency and integration across the team. A responsibility assignment matrix, such as a RACI chart, is then created to make roles explicit. This tool maps each task to the people who are responsible for completing it, those who are accountable for its outcome, those who must be consulted before it is done, and those who need to be informed of progress. Each task should have one accountable party to avoid confusion and disputes later. This matrix supports team alignment, improves stakeholder visibility, and helps prevent duplicated efforts or unclear ownership. Once roles are defined, the project manager confirms resource availability. This step includes checking for calendar conflicts, verifying project prioritization, and ensuring that the resource's other commitments do not interfere with their ability to perform. In a matrixed organization, this may involve negotiating with functional managers to secure the necessary allocation. Confirmed availability should be documented and reflected in the project schedule so that there is no ambiguity later. If availability issues are left unresolved, they can delay activities on the critical path. Resources are then assigned to specific project tasks. Assignments are mapped directly to elements in the work breakdown structure or to activity codes in the schedule. The project manager considers expertise, current workload, and role alignment when making assignments. Task dependencies and expected durations may also affect who is best suited for each assignment. Early assignment of resources enables more accurate scheduling and improves risk planning by highlighting where coverage may be thin. Planning for team onboarding is also essential. Onboarding provides new team members with an introduction to the project's goals, timeline, and tools. It ensures they have access to required systems, documents, and collaboration platforms. The project kickoff meeting often includes an onboarding component so that everyone starts with a shared understanding. Early orientation helps team members integrate faster, reduces the learning curve, and sets clear expectations for their role in the project. A skills inventory is developed to compare the team's current capabilities against the project's needs. This inventory can reveal gaps in technical expertise, process knowledge, or compliance requirements. Data for this inventory may come from self-assessments, manager evaluations, or human resources records. The skills inventory becomes the foundation for targeted training programs and helps guide resource assignment to the right tasks. Recognizing skills gaps early is critical to project success. Gaps can appear in high-impact areas like cybersecurity, specialized reporting tools, or vendor-specific systems. If these gaps are not addressed, They can lead to delays, defects, or rework during execution. Training plans designed to close these gaps should be linked to the risk register and factored into the resource schedule. Addressing them before work begins improves the team's resilience and performance under pressure. Estimating training requirements involves defining the time, cost, and delivery format for each activity. Live instructor-led sessions, e-learning modules, and vendor-provided courses are all options depending on the need. The project manager must account for the downtime resources will have while in training, as this can affect task scheduling. Some projects require formal certifications or compliance-based training, which can expand the scope of the training plan. Training costs must be considered as part of the project budget. Expenses may include external trainers, licensing fees for training platforms, or fees for certification exams. In some organizations, pooled training funds or departmental budgets can be used to offset these costs. Regardless of the funding source, the budget for training must align with the staffing plan and the overall project timeline to avoid last-minute surprises. Communicating role expectations to each assigned team member is a final step in building clarity and commitment. This involves reviewing the defined role, deliverables, deadlines, and escalation paths. Ambiguity in role definitions can lead to frustration, delays, and accountability issues. Clear communication of expectations supports better individual performance and fosters stronger collaboration across the team. The project plan itself must incorporate the team structure, training time, and task dependencies. Roles and resource allocations influence the accuracy of the project timeline and the identification of the critical path. The team structure should align with the resource calendar and comply with organizational policies. Solid team planning at this stage enables smoother coordination during execution and reduces the risk of conflicts. If you'd like, I can now continue with Part 2 to cover the training scheduling, multi-format delivery, mentorship programs, remote team considerations, and readiness reviews. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Training must be scheduled early enough to finish before any dependent tasks begin. The project calendar should clearly show session dates, durations, and who is attending so availability is visible. Critical path activities cannot slip because required training was missed or overbooked. Timing must also account for vendor-instructor availability and any onboarding cycles that affect access to environments or tools. Training can be delivered through live workshops, recorded video modules, or guided hands-on labs. The delivery method should reflect topic complexity, team size, and the level of interaction required for mastery. Role-based learning tracks keep content relevant for each participant rather than forcing generic material. Hybrid delivery allows flexibility for remote and in-person contributors without sacrificing consistency or quality. Completion should be logged in a central tracker or in the organization's HR system. Verification may include short assessments, formal certifications, or supervisor sign-off to confirm competence. Teams that do not complete training risk performance gaps, compliance findings, or additional rework during execution. Overall readiness should be reviewed and documented before the project transitions into active work. Pairing new team members with experienced staff improves integration and confidence. Mentorship accelerates learning and builds cross-functional relationships that support faster problem-solving. Peer reviews and structured shadowing help convert training knowledge into applied understanding on real tasks. A lightweight mentorship program also supports long-term knowledge transfer and reduces single point of failure risk. Teams should agree on how they will communicate, report progress, and resolve conflict during planning. Expectations for meetings, status updates, and documentation standards must be stated plainly and shared. Collaboration norms reduce misunderstandings, prevent silo behavior, and create predictable rhythms for the group. Setting these norms early creates a stable foundation for effective execution under schedule pressure. Time zones, language differences, and tool access must be accounted for when managing remote or distributed teams. Training may need to be delivered asynchronously or localized to support regional constraints without losing fidelity. Communication expectations must be clarified for virtual environments, so response times and channels are consistent. Remote teams require more deliberate coordination, structured checkpoints, and visible artifacts to stay aligned. A team contact and escalation list should include names, roles, preferred contact methods, and time zone information. Escalation paths must clarify who to contact for urgent decisions or to remove blockers. Sharing this list at kickoff improves responsiveness once execution introduces time-sensitive issues. Clear escalation trees help manage risk, reduce delays, and prevent decision bottlenecks. The project manager should watch early engagement through responsiveness, task updates, and meeting participation. Unengaged team members may signal unclear roles, missing access, or unaddressed training gaps. Early engagement patterns are predictive of long-term team performance and delivery quality. Adjustments can be made through coaching, role clarification, or targeted training to correct course quickly. Status reports should include updates on onboarding progress and training completion, so readiness is transparent. Stakeholders often request assurance that the full team is prepared to start execution without avoidable risk. Readiness status acts as a gate that validates the start of work against the plan. Communicating this clearly demonstrates leadership and reinforces planning discipline. Before execution, confirm that all assigned resources are trained, available, and equipped for their tasks. Address any last-minute changes in availability, scope, or access, so coverage remains intact. Validate that each critical task has named ownership, defined backups, and aligned role clarity. This final staffing review reduces execution risk and stabilizes kickoff conditions for the team. Team success begins with deliberate planning, assignment, and thorough onboarding. Role clarity, targeted training, and well-defined collaboration norms must be established before work starts. The project manager is responsible for verifying readiness and removing barriers that could slow delivery. Structured team planning enables smoother execution, fewer disruptions, and stronger outcomes against scope, schedule, and quality targets. Thank you for listening. Please follow baremetalcyber.com on social media and check out our books at cyberauthor.me.